the entire humanity is facing the biggest crisis, the biggest impediment, the crisis of coronavirus infection. Now, where this will lead us to, the entire humanity, where it will go, my expectations are, I've also given in another presentation, that the humanity is going to have a much better lifestyle, much better way of doing business and other activity, and it is a step towards development and evolution. Before I start, let me tell you, at least I can think of four crises which our country faced in the past after independence. The first was when we faced in 1960s, when India had tremendous food shortage. The chances was that millions of people will die if we don't get food, and we had to really go literally beg before United States to send us food. That was the only country who could, and they sent us shiploads, hundreds of shiploads of food grains for which we didn't even have money to pay. United States wrote off the entire debt which we incurred on PL 480 food grants which they have offered us. And after that, what happened? We had what is called Green Revolution. From that time, India had been producing more food than we can consume. We have become the world's biggest producer of food grain. In fact, every year we have to provide support price for the food grains, because if we don't do it, the quantity of food grain grown is so much that there is a chances of prices falling below the cost of production and creating distress for farmers, and therefore government of India supports and buys, exports, sometimes destroy, and sometimes distribute the food grain for free, because we are a surplus food grain country ever since. In 70s, we again faced a crisis of milk. We had to really import milk products, milk powder, even children feed. And then we had this Operation Flood. Today, after that, India has become the biggest producer of milk and milk products. Amul is a national brand. Nobody can compete with the products of Amul. Amul has one of the most valuable brand India has ever produced. In 1962, we had a war with China and we lost miserably. That led to modernization of Indian army, and the army became such efficient that in 1971 we liberated a country in 13 days, Bangladesh, against all odds, when two superpowers like America and China were against us. Not only America, but the entire NATO countries. We had less attacking force than defending force of Pakistan, and yet 93,000 fully armed soldiers surrendered, having ammunition to fight for 6 months. It was unprecedented victory. Had we not faced the crisis of 1962 debacle of army, we would not have the victory of 1971. In 1971 again, 1991, we had a tremendous crisis. Our foreign exchange reserve has gone down to as low as 1 billion, barely enough to import 1 week's import bill, pay for import bill. We had to really literally take our gold reserve to England to pledge before Bank of England to have credit line to somehow pay for our imports. And then Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh started liberalizing, opening up the economy. Everyone predicted doom. Everyone said that multinational companies, foreign companies will come and take over all Indian companies. What happened was reverse. Indian companies went and took over their companies, like Chorus Steel, Tetley Tea, many other companies, by Tatas, by Birlas, by even small companies like Titagarh Steel, by Allen Mittal. So many hundreds of Indian companies took over the British, American, German companies. And we had $400 billion of reserve, which is enough for our import for another 2.5 years. Crisis has made India stronger from one strength to another strength. It also does for an individual. Premature babies are predicted to have much higher immunity later in life. Those who survive for existence, who fight for survival in the beginning of their life, they become much stronger than normal babies. And so is the normal trees. The trees which easily get water on the surface do not become deep-rooted tree. The tree the seeds which have to struggle to get water, has to go deep inside the earth and ultimately result into a deep rooted tree. And therefore, struggle in the beginning of life, a setback in the beginning of life, is good for us. It makes us strong and brings the best out of us. It really shows us our true potential. There are hundreds of stories. Let me give you some examples. Look at this gentleman's life history. For 30 years, from 1831 to almost 1860, he had to face several failures. All election he stood for, he lost. His sweetheart died. He had nervous breakdowns. He had bankruptcies. And despite that, ultimately he was elected as the president of the United States. And what kind of president? Greatest president of the United States, who had the guts to take the country to even civil war, where Americans lost more people than all the wars put together, because he stood for the principle which their Declaration of Independence and Bill of Rights said: all men are created equal. How can you have a constitution which says all men are created equal when half of your population is under slavery? He's abolished slavery from America in spite of the fact that the entire people were against it. He had, being a politician, had the guts to go against the popular opinion and demand, because he stood for a principle. He is today considered to be one of the greatest human beings compared to Gandhi and Buddha and all that. He's one of the greatest. This is revered all over the world. He had the guts because he had gone through such difficult times in his life. Sudha Chandra, let's take an example. Ordinary dancer, not very well known. She lost her foot and then she decided to dance with a artificial leg, and that made her a world celebrity, because those days the artificial legs were not as good as we have today. In spite of that, she could dance perfectly with her artificial legs, and that made her global celebrity. Louis Pasteur, who discovered that we get sick because of microbe attack or viral attack, and the best way to fight is immunity and antibodies, and that led to a discovery of antibiotics. Today, the entire science of antibiotics is based on his discovery. His life turned when he was ridiculed by his teacher in the class, saying that you, as a chemistry student, it's mediocre. You don't deserve for higher studies. You don't deserve to get recognized and all that. That night, he was a changed man. One humiliation, and he changed his life. Woolworth was slapped by his employer on the shop floor, saying that you have no sense to talk to the customer. That night, he changed. He wanted to prove his employer wrong, and he, in the process, became the world's biggest retailer. His market share of American retail was much more than Walmart, which is one of the biggest companies in the world. One humiliation, one slap, one setback, you can call, changed his life for better. Beethoven is revered all over the world as the greatest composer of Western classical music. Every concert held anywhere in the world must have Beethoven's composition being played. Even every student who wants to start learning Western classical music has to start with playing Beethoven's composition. But this fellow was not such a great composer in the beginning. Till such time, his music teacher told him, as a composer, you are hopeless. There is no hope. You are absolutely useless bugger. That brought the change. Yeah, he started putting his best, and the life changed, and he became the greatest composer. He is now most popular with the orchestras, the music composers, as inspirations, as a composer whose symphony they would like to play, and so on. Disney was told by the head of the newspaper editor that you had no creativity. He was working as a cartoonist, and he was thrown out of the job. That night he had no money, he had no warm clothes, he had no money to buy any food. He bought a most cheapest dry bread, and to save himself from winter cold, he had gone and wanted to spend the night in a haystack, and he was very scared of mouses. And then he saw that mouse coming, eating his bread crumbs which was spread on the floor, and the whole night he was watching the movement of the mouse. That led him the idea of creating a character like Mickey Mouse, and the rest is history, they call. I can't think of anybody else in the world, who is more creative, who could think that a picture can also act like a human being, like a character, like an animal. His entire concept created an industry, new industry of animation, which is very big today. He created theme park. Nobody could think that people will travel 20,000, 30,000 kilometers, spend more than five to $10,000 just to stay or visit a theme park for 5 or 6 days, which is full of fantasy. It is full of fantasy characters. Yeah, nobody. It's absolutely out of box thinking. And that man was called by his editor, "You have no creativity." Yeah, this jolted him, and all his creativity, which was lying dormant, came out. We all need such jolt. Yeah, without that jolt, our sleeping a sleeping giant is there inside us. He's sleeping. We have to wake him up, and to wake him up, we need this kind of a jolt. His fictional characters, which were nothing but drawings, got Oscar awards. Just imagine, for acting. Thomas Alva Edison, was sent back by his teacher when he was in school to home that he's so stupid that nobody can teach him. That led him to start a lab in his house. By the time he was 16-year-old, he's already got few thousand patents to his credit. He is a man who is credited to have highest number of patents in the world. Even today, you can't spend a day without using his inventions like storage battery, AC motor, AC current, light bulb, projector, sound recording. Everything was done by him. Just imagine a person who was considered to be useless, who could not be, he was so stupid that nobody can teach, became world's greatest scientist. His record is yet to be broken. Nobody could break his record. Churchill, till at the age 61, had never faced public and given a public speech. By the time he was 61, his greatest father was a great orator and parliamentarian. Sir Rudolph Churchill gave him a written speech to be delivered or read in the parliament. He was not well. Winston Churchill was facing the parliament, the people, for the first time. He became so nervous, tears came from his eyes, no voice, no word came from his mouth. He had to sit down. Next day, he was a laughing stock. The whole world was laughing. The newspaper said, "He's such a stupid man, such a letdown, such a great orator. Son can't even read from the paper." Wherever he went, people were laughing at him. He then decided that he'll become a bigger speaker, the better speaker than his father. And he put his heart and soul, and he became the world's greatest speaker. Today, if you pick up 10 great speeches in the world, 3 of them out of 10 are given by him. He got a biggest compliment from John F. Kennedy, who said that Churchill single-handedly won the Second World War through his inspirational speeches, because Hitler was confused in listening to Churchill's speeches, which was absolutely positive. Yeah, he thought that England must be vanquished by now, but listening to Churchill's speech, he didn't dare to start a full-fledged war against London. Before, by the time he was weighing for time, and ultimately America joined the war. This fellow not only became one of the greatest speaker, he put his experiences and memoirs in the form of a book of the Second World War, and give a Nobel Prize for such a literary creation for literature. All these people which you see on the screen had their life changed because of such setbacks in life. They had to face setbacks to transform. Yeah, they had to really struggle in the beginning of their life to become what they ultimately became, great success. So we see that setbacks are essential part of growing. Without setback, we cannot discover our hidden potential. We cannot go to the next level of development. But most of us do not know how to handle the setback, failures, crisis, catastrophes. Yeah, because nobody teaches us, not our teachers, not our parents, not our friends, not our neighbors, nobody. We really don't know. This is something which is definitely going to happen in each of us life, like death and taxes. Setbacks, failures, crisis, catastrophe is essential part of our life. Nobody can avoid it. We have to face. But most of us react absolutely negatively, which is not correct. We actually make bad situation worse. We get depressed, we panic, and some of us commit suicide also. Yeah, India has a notorious reputation of having the highest number of suicide in the world. We have the highest number of depressed people. West Bengal takes the cake, and Calcutta is the capital of depressed people, and highest number of suicide happens in Calcutta city. And who does this suicide? The brightest and the best the people get selected in IITs, IIMs, medical colleges, engineering colleges. Those who are the actually better than the rest. And why they commit suicide? Because their semester result was not up to expectation, or there was a breakup, or there was some fight, or there was some misunderstanding, or somebody said something stupid, trivial reasons they end their life, which is like this is not a way of handling. You should use the crisis for your development, for discovering your true potential, not end your life. And why we do it? Because we really don't know how to handle. So now we'll see how we can handle like a master, like when we will get the best out of this crisis like situation. We use it for our development, for our next level of success, for our own evolution and our own development. How can we use it? So we'll see that most of the time when we face a crisis or a setback or a loss of somebody, grief and depression are immediate reaction. Yeah? Grief and depression. It should not be like that. I have seen from my life and life of many others that setback has been the biggest break in my life, but I don't see it when it happens. I can't realize it when it's happened. I can only realize it after a few years. But if we have really faith, we can believe that this is true, because in Gita, Krishna tells Arjun that whatever happens to you is happening for your good. Whatever happened in the past has happened for your good. Whatever will happen in future for you is happen for good. If this is what is true, then whatever is happening to me, even that catastrophe, setback, which I'm looking as a setback, which everybody is telling me as a setback, is actually happening for my betterment. If I have that confidence, if I have that faith, and if I see everything which is happening, the crisis like situation or setback like situation, as a positive thing, I will gain from that situation. There is a book which compiles the stories of the people who were fired when they faced, and that was the biggest setback of their life, but they gained. They created great things after they got fired. And they have written, all the title of the book is The Best Thing Happened to Me When I Got Fired. I can give you an example of the Narayan Murthy and his team who was to lose jobs in 1970s when the entire IT industry was going through a bad phase. They were not getting salaries. They had to leave. There was no jobs for them in other IT companies because all IT industries, all companies were facing a crisis-like situation. So they decided to start their own company in a small room of 800 square feet of Narayan Murthy's house, buying a second-hand computer with 10,000 rupees they borrowed from Sudha Murthy. Nobody else had any money. And they started a company which is today India's pride. Not only India's pride, it's a world pride. It employs more than 300,000 people. Its valuation is few lakh crore, and it has done so much of good for society. It's one of the biggest contributor for social cause. Same thing goes for Subrata Bagchi's Mindtree. He got fired from Wipro and he started that company. There are n number of cases where people who got fired created amazing things. They had never had the courage to leave the job which was well paying and secured to start something like this till such time when they faced the crisis like situation and they got fired, and then they had no option but to start, and then they reached an amazing height of success. There are several compilation of books of girls who lost their husbands, or who got a breakup, or who had some setback. The best person in their life dies, and their life changed, and their life changed for better. And they were very scared. What will they do after their partner goes away? But what happened was, so let us not assume that what is happening, that crisis-like situation, is necessarily make you miserable. Will necessarily make your life continue like a crisis. It may be a change for better. If you look at it as a change for better with expectations, it will actually become the change for better. The problem is that we can face the hurdles and the problems which is in the real life. We cannot handle the problems and hurdles which are creation of our own imagination, which are created by our own mind. Physically, it doesn't exist. That is very difficult to overcome. Henry Ford once said, if we think we can solve any problem, if we think we can face any crisis, if we think we can do something, we can. But if we think we can't, we can't. If we think we can't handle this crisis, we can't get over this, we can't solve this problem, or we can't do this, we can't do this. It is all in your own thought process. So if we think we can gain out of this crisis, we can gain out of it. Then let us consider this setback is not something permanent. Its setback is temporary. How many times in the past in our life we have faced several setbacks, crises, failures, so-called failures, or something which is not happening as per our expectation, and we're very sad and dejected and depressed. Those things, does it matter today? It doesn't matter today. We have forgotten, we laugh at it today. But that time, that looked very real. Now, the way you have forgotten what has happened in the past, which made you very miserable at that time, you will also forget what is happening today in times to come. So, if you are going to one day forget and laugh at what is happening today, which is making you miserable, why don't you start looking at it as how you will look at it after 5 years and laugh at it? That will make the life much easier. And this will make us emotionally strong. We'll be able to handle the problem in a masterly manner. One or two setback doesn't make us failure. Even hundreds of failure doesn't make us failure. Because as long as we are not giving up, trying again, we are not failure. They are learning experiences. Before discovering the right way of making a light bulb, Thomas Alva Edison has to do 10,000 experiments which failed. Was he a failure? A person who's credited with 10,000 patents, was he a failure when his 10,000 experiments failed? No. In fact, many of failed experiments led to further discoveries of triode and diode, and which led to the opening of the entire industry of electronics, which led to making of radar, of making of radios, making of electronic items. So it was not failure, but we consider that time it was a failure. And there's not a single person on this earth who has not faced any setback. Or see, most of the scientific discoveries, most of the exploring, were actually failed expeditions or failed experiments. Madame Curie was not looking for radioactivity. Her experiment was failing again and again, and she wanted to find out why it's failing. And she discovered there's something new which is happening called radioactivity, and she discovered the element radium, for which she got Nobel Prize. She could not have got Nobel Prize had the experiment were not failing. Columbus was not planning to discover America. Nobody knew America existed. He wanted to discover an alternative route to India by going west. His original expectations and original objective or original mission has failed. He didn't reach India from alternative route, but he discovered a greater discovery, discovered America. So it was not a failure. And there are studies after studies after studies which are done, which says nothing succeeds like failure. We are brainwashed all our life to be told that nothing succeeds like success. It's not true. Success makes us reckless, arrogant, overconfidence, rude. Success, easy success, actually goes in our head. Some failures in the beginning of our life keep us rooted to ground, and then some success doesn't go to our head because we are always reminded of those failures. We are always told that even we are subject to failures if we don't prepare ourselves well, or if the circumstances are not helping us, we are likely to fail. So don't be overconfident. Always have a plan B. Our self-worth is not should not be equated to our success and achievements. Success and achievement is not in our hand, not always. Now, some people, I'm asking you a question, so some people can unmute and give me an answer. Let me ask you, suppose you are facing an opportunity, everybody is facing that opportunity, and some of us take that opportunity and act and become successful. Who should get the credit, we or the opportunity? Can some people answer?
Sir, obviously, getting the credit, right? Because
Who should take the credit?
huh?
Us or Who should take the credit, us or the opportunity?
Sir, we'll be getting the credit, obviously.
Right.
Sir, because the opportunity had come to us, it was upon us. If we would have not acted on that opportunity and taken it to do whatever we did, which made us successful, then we would have lost that opportunity, right?
Exactly, exactly. I 100% agree with you. Now I'm asking you
Yeah.
another question. That opportunity we took, circumstances changed, and we failed, miserably failed. Who should take the blame? Us or the changing circumstances?
Sir, it will be again us only. And we should not blame us. Instead, we should rectify whatever mistakes we did the last time, and then we should
No, no, but
change
I'm
the
asking, see, that is the further action. I'm asking who should take the blame? We or the changing circumstances? You said we should take the blame, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Why should you? Can anybody anticipate how the circumstances will change? Are we futurists? Can we look at the future? We can't.
So
If
we live
something,
for the day.
sorry,
Like I kind of live for the day, like the moment. I try to focus on the moment.
you're trying to focus on what?
Actually, I like you said, can we predict the future or something like that? So I said, let's better to focus on the moment, the day, just
No,
for
no, no.
today.
I'm no, no. I'm asking simple thing. I'm saying that when you have taken the credit for the success, should you also take the blame? Should you also be made
Yes,
responsible
yes,
for
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
failure?
Yes, sir. We should. Yes.
No, this is what is wrong way of thinking. We
Okay.
have no way to predict the future. We have no way to find out how the circumstances will change, and therefore we are not entitled for that blame. The reason that most of us will take that blame, and our friends and family members will, all of them will blame us, our partners will blame us, our family members will blame us, which is a wrong thing which we are subjected. We had taken a decision, seeing the current situation, current circumstances, which could have made us successful. In 60% of the chances, we'll become successful. But in 40% chances, the situation will change. When you are striving for success, there is a chances you will also sometime fail. That doesn't mean that I will take the blame or I am entitled to take the blame, because nobody can see the future, and therefore the blame should go to the changing circumstances and not me. It's a wrong way of reacting to that failure. The friends, the relatives, if you are a friend, if you are a relative, and if your friend or your family member is failing because of changing circumstances, you should assure him that you are not to be blamed, and you should not blame him. And if you are the one who is failing, you should not take the blame, because you are not God. You are not astrologer, so called. And most of the astrology predictions fail. Therefore, we should not blame ourselves, because this blame will lower your energy, will lower your confidence in yourself, will lower your self esteem, will lower your feeling of self worth, which will paralyze you from taking corrective action. Therefore, you should not take blame. This is what is my message. You are not to be blamed. You should not blame others who are failing, and you should not take the blame. This is a wrong way of thinking. That is why I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to see what you want to think. We
Sir,
are not in.
can I
Yes,
ask you a question, sir?
yes, please go ahead.
So, sir, I completely understand what you're trying to say, and I completely affirm to it. My question is, sir, if I'm not taking the blame, then how should I be able to deal with that
That is
circumstance
what
in that
I'm
case?
coming next. Yeah, I'm coming next. You are not taking a blame, but you are, that doesn't mean that you should not take corrective actions. You are taking corrective actions, but with a clear mind that you are not responsible for this failure. You are not inadequate. You are not incompetent, because it is not because of your incompetency that failure has happened, and therefore you are still competent enough to make amend, and you are still competent enough to take action, corrective actions. Because if you feel you are incompetent, you will get paralyzed, you will not take action, because you have no confidence in your actions. Now that you feel that you are not incompetent, you are competent, you are capable, you are fully empowered to take corrective action and make corrections and make that failure into success, you will take action, and therefore the situation will change. So take corrective action with full confidence. Don't lose confidence in yourself, because you need more energy, more confidence at that point in crisis, not less. And any negative thought, any doubt in your competency will make you incapacitated, will make you prevent you from taking corrective action, which will make that bad situation worse. To be able to take that corrective actions with full confidence, you need to have full confidence in yourself, and you should not blame yourself, because you are not to be blamed. You should think what best you can do in that correct situation and take action. And let us reach out to our support system. See what happens when we start blaming ourselves. When we take the blame, we also feel humiliated, we also feel ashamed in facing the world. And so the first reaction is isolate ourselves, because we feel that how can I show my face? I am the reason for that failure. How can I go in public? How can I face people? This is another thing happened when we start blaming ourselves, and when others start blaming us. We should not take that blame, and we should go and face people, not isolate ourselves. Ask for support, ask for help, ask for cooperation. And you will be surprised when you go with full confidence asking for help with people. People will be more than willing to help you, because you are giving them three compliments by asking, selecting them for help. See, when I select somebody, I ask for help. What am I telling them? I am first of all saying that I am approaching you first because I feel you are a kind-hearted person. You are a person with helping nature. That's why I am approaching you, and I am not approaching others. Therefore, I have selected you because you are a helping person. Second, out of all the people who are having a helping nature, I have selected you because I also feel you are competent to help me. So you are not only helping in nature, you are also competent. And third is that I am approaching you out of all the people who are helping in nature and competent, you first. Why? Because I feel that I feel very close to you. I feel you are my dearest, you are my closest. That's why I am approaching you and not others. If you are giving somebody three compliments by selecting them for help first, I don't think they will not help you. And if they don't help you, it's their bad luck. You will get help. You can approach somebody else. So you don't feel ashamed. You don't feel that you are lowering yourself by asking for help and support. In fact, you are giving them opportunity to help you and feel nice about that whole activity. If they don't help, it's their bad luck. So don't feel ashamed. Don't feel shy. Don't feel that you are to be blamed and how can I show my face and how can I ask for support. You need more support, as much support as possible in that hour of need. Go ahead and ask for support. And first of all, go to God and ask for the God's blessings. It will actually boost your moral. And sometimes seeing the situation not so serious, don't make things don't see life to be very serious. You see, one failure, two failure doesn't make your life miserable. Yeah, it's part of life. See some humor, see some goodness. Suppose in an accident you have lost your leg, you can think that I could have lost my life, at least life is saved. So it's not all that bad. People make these situations very light by addressing it very jokingly. There are many such instances. What I'm only going to say that don't make that as the end of life. Yeah. Next is, in this situation of crisis, we should do everything which will enhance our positivity, which will enhance our energy, which will enhance our innovative out-of-box thinking, which will enhance our physical and mental energy. And that is only possible when we have a very healthy lifestyle. Bad habits like smoking and drinking will be biggest problem in such, you must have seen when people are facing crisis like situation, when they are depressed, the smokers will start smoking more, the alcoholics will start drinking more alcohol, drown themselves in alcohol. That's not going to solve problem. Yeah, it will lower their energy and it will make a bad situation worse. That is what most of the people having such bad habits will indulge in. What we should do, some people who are depressed will eat more. The depression actually led you to eat more and increase weight. That's also bad, and that will lower your energy and self-esteem. So therefore, what we need to do, at least for that period, we should have very, very healthy lifestyle, get up early in the morning, go for exercise, do some pranayam, do some yoga, eat healthy food, yeah, go for walk, meet with friends, talk positive things, see positive programs, positive films, read positive books, be with positive people. Because when you do all that to increase your positivity, increase your positive energy level, you will be in a much better frame of mind to handle that situation and solve and go to the next level. And you will, in that situation, will see that opportunity which is hidden in that crisis, which otherwise you can't see. Otherwise, you will only see the crisis. But with positivity, you will see those hundreds of opportunities which are opening up, and that will make all the change. And let's commit to a new project. Don't think about what is lost. See what you can gain. Narayan Murthy was not looking at the job lost. Narayan Murthy was looking at emerging opportunities of global delivery system, which was opening up, which he was wanting to encash on. That sitting in India, you can actually solve a computer problem of any computer anywhere in the world through internet, and rest is history. When you are only focusing on what is lost, you will not see the other opportunity which is emerging. I tell girls, or boys who had lost, break up from their partners, boyfriends or girlfriends, don't focus, don't, shed tears on the people who have gone. The more you try to forget him or her, the more she will come or he will come in your mind. Try to make a new boyfriend or a girlfriend, yeah, and you have no time for thinking about them. When you have lost a job like Narayan Murthy, look for other opportunities, focus on them instead of crying over spilt milk. And you will see that you will have no time to think about them. Huh? When you have a breakup party, go and meet more people. When you have lost jobs, go and meet more people. Tell them you are available. A person of your intelligence, genius is available. Any industry should grab you. If you are looking for job or if you are looking for business, ask for business ideas. And let's not give a lot of credence on results. Results are not in our hand. Results are the combination of our efforts with circumstances. Circumstances can be very adverse. In adverse circumstances, nobody with greatest capabilities can succeed. Even people with greatest capabilities have failed many times. It's not that Henry Ford succeeded in the first instance. He had 2 bankruptcies before he made Ford Motor Car Company such a great success. And pick up hundreds of people, industrialists. Everybody had bankruptcies in the beginning of their life. Even Tesla had such a difficult times in the beginning. He's one of the greatest, scientific discoverer and an industrialist and a businessman, but he had his fair share of failures. So never, put your, self-esteem or your self-worth with only results or success. And just remember, whenever a crisis is coming in your life, in my life, so many crises, so many setbacks have come, and every crisis has proved to be the greatest break in my life, including, when my partner cheated me when I was selling television in the shop, and because he siphoned all the money, I had no option but to leave that shop and start looking for another business. And I know that only business I can start with no money was real estate, and which virtually forced me to come to real estate. And today I have a business which is 100,000 times bigger than that business. Had he not done this, I would have sitting in that shop and selling television till now. So that was a great thing which has happened. That crisis was not crisis; it was the biggest break of my life. So when such a catastrophe is coming, look in that catastrophe is just a package. Inside is hundreds of opportunities. We must have the eyes to look for those opportunities. And to look for and discover those opportunities, we have to follow these 3 P's. One is patience. We cannot get those, we can't discover them in one day. We have to keep on seeing. And we have to keep on trying to find out what are the opportunities are and how can I benefit out of it. So we need persistent effort to discover what the opportunities are, and perseverance not to give up till we discover, because it is for sure that every crisis, every setback has opportunities hidden. It is only on us to discover. It doesn't matter how much time it requires, but we have to not give up till we discover. Now, sometimes expectation to become success, or we whatever we'll do is will succeed, is the biggest reason for mental setback. If you think that you will succeed, you are some superhuman being, that whatever you are going to do, you will succeed, you are in for a setback. Don't think that everything which you'll do will bring success. You will have fair share of failure, doesn't matter. Everyone had, even the greatest success or successful person had his fair share of failures. So you are no exception. The only reason that they became such a great success, that they made friends with their failures. They accepted that failures as necessary way of learning and going to the next level of success. Thomas Alva Edison has not given discovering the way to make electric bulb even after 999 times failures. It is only a perseverance. And so every time when we want to do something, we should expect that that there is a good chance that it will fail, it will not work the way I am doing. So always keep your plan B ready. Plan B should always be there. Although we should put our full focus, full efforts on plan A. We should make our best effort to succeed. But mentally we should be prepared that it may not, despite our best efforts. Now, success and happiness are always linked, not necessarily to be linked. We have seen that people who are great success, who has everything in life, material wealth, fame, power, everything, are not very happy. And we have also seen people who have nothing are very happy. So happiness has nothing to do with success and materialistic wealth and power and all that. We can decide to be happy in the worst conditions, and we can decide to be unhappy in the best conditions. It is our choice. So please decide to be happy. Don't sacrifice your happiness because of not getting success. You can be happy. So therefore, if you decide to be happy, come what may, you are in much better position, much better frame of mind in tackling that failure and tackling that crisis. Happiness will give you energy. Misery doesn't give anybody any energy, and there's nothing in the world worth being miserable. Happiness is just a choice. Why should I be unhappy? In any case, whatever you have achieved in this life will be left here when you leave. So why should we get attached to them anyway? We didn't bring anything and we are not going to take anything. So therefore, they are all temporary. So if they are temporary, why should we attach our happiness to something which is temporary? Now let me ask you, when you're going to a amusement park, you have option to ride a very slow jula, a jula which is there in every Gujarati family's drawing room, yeah, where you sit and have a small jula, or going on a roller coaster. Roller coaster is very risky. I'm always scared of roller coaster because when it's going down, you have a butterflies in your stomach. You're so scared. You have to close your eyes. You're shouting with fear, and it actually also makes your head reel and things like that. But then when we come out of the amusement park, for years we will remember our roller coaster ride, not that jula, slow jula. Don't you agree with me? So which one will you prefer when you go? Please, some people can unmute and tell me, which one will you prefer to ride when you go to an amusement park, the roller coaster or a Gujarati jula? Can some people respond? What happened? Everybody gone to sleep.
Sir, can you repeat the question again once, please? The
When
mic
you are
was
going
not
to an amusement park, you have a choice of going to a slow jula, slow ride, or a roller coaster ride which is on the screen. Which one will you prefer to have? The roller coaster ride
slow
or
jhula, sir. Slow jhula.
okay,
Jhula, sir.
good. How
Sir,
many of
jhula,
us
sir.
jhula? Huh?
Jhula. Sir, jhula.
Slow jhula.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many are interested in the roller coaster?
Sir, me.
Sir, I'm interested.
Roller coaster.
Yeah.
Sir, roller coaster.
Okay, good. So some people see, I'll prefer to be a roller coaster. I don't know about others. Some people may decide that yeah, slow jhula is good enough for me. Slow jhula is good enough for them. All the very best for you. You would like to have very uneventful, steady life. I would like to experience all kinds of things in my life. I would like to see the peak. I would like to see the
Sir,
valley.
sir,
I,
sir, I would like to stop you over here for a moment.
yeah,
Sir, even if I'm on the slow jhula, I can, enjoy the wind which is blowing on my, face
yeah.
and all of those.
Yeah.
It's also the beauties of life, I guess, is everywhere if you kind of
No.
see it
See,
in that way.
I'm not saying. I'm simply saying that there are people who would like to have steady life. There's nothing wrong in that.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Some people are there who would like to experience very intense life. Yeah. So people like us,
Right, sir.
people like me, who would like to live a life at the edge. I would like to live a life which is full of events. I would like to taste everything of life with full intensity. I would like to see the peak. I would like to see the valley. I would like to see the height of success. I would like to also experience the failures, and I would like to have a 360-degree experience of my life. So, having said that, because I feel that is much more complete life, God has given me one chance to live. I would like to see everything. Yeah. So, therefore, having said this, I would like to see. I don't mind. I mean, your choice. I mean, you're absolutely entitled to choose what you want in life. We are all different people, so everybody's choice can be different, and there's nothing wrong in this. Some people would like to have this chula. I don't know. I don't mind, and I don't blame them, and I'm not putting them down anyway. I'm putting them equal. We are all different. I'm only saying that many of us would like to have the roller coaster, and therefore I would prefer that life. I know so many people in my life who would like to have very steady life, don't want ups and
Sir,
downs.
even at the age of 90, you would like to have the roller coaster ride.
Yes. I would like to have roller coaster even at the last breath of my life.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'm already 67. I don't think like 67. I don't think I'm 67. I think I'm 30. My
Yeah,
heart
sir.
still skip a beat when I see a good-looking girl. Yeah. Why should I think like an old man? So therefore, having said this, I'm saying that we are all different people. So therefore, if you are looking for an intense life, if you really looking for a good life, celebrate the failures, celebrate the ups and downs of life. If you want to have a sedentary life, if you want to have steady life, and if you have ups and downs, you can't help it. It's not in your control. So you better start liking it. If you don't like it, you have to start liking it because you can't avoid them. If you can't avoid something, you better start liking it. I always say that happy are the persons who marry a girl they love, and happier are the person who love the girl they marry. Now you've already married that girl, you have no choice. You better start loving her. Otherwise, you will have a very miserable life. What's the point? You have no choice. Do you agree or not agree?
Agree, sir. Agree.
So if you have no choice, if you have your life with this up and down, you better like it. Yeah, you have no choice. Why you want to make yourself miserable? By liking it, you will enjoy it. Yeah, it's better to enjoy than become miserable of something you can't avoid. Okay. Now, how do we handle these failures and setbacks? We should actually use the technique a judo practitioner does. What does judo practitioner do? It uses the opponent's power and force against the opponent. These are the tricks which are taught to a judo practitioner. So, in what happened in judo, a very small, frail child can disable a very well built and very, very strong man because it's nothing but tricks. Yeah, it actually uses the opponent's force. You have to do the same thing. See, the crisis which is created by nature, which is created by circumstances, which is created by the divine, is much more powerful than you can muster. You cannot, you can only do something which you are able to do is use the power of that attacking crisis in your advantage. That only you can do. And that you can do if you are able to keep your head in balance, not lose your head when you are facing the crisis. Most of us will lose our head. Most of us will panic. Most of us will lose our positivity. Most of us will become absolutely negative. Most of us will lose hope. If we don't lose hope, if we don't become panicky, if we don't lose our positivity, we will see where is the way of getting benefited out of this crisis. And act as a judo practitioner, find out what are the things in this crisis which will benefit you and capitalize. Very few people will be able to do that. So you have an opportunity of making a pakamate goal, because you are very, very few people will see that opportunity and capitalize. If you are able to do it, you have a monopoly like of situation. Nobody else is doing it. You have absolute big advantage. Do that. Those who can do it become great success, because nothing can put them down. They are unputdownable. They are the people who will succeed in every situation. Come what may, they'll succeed. They'll go from one level of success to another level of success because of their only mindset, nothing else. They are not capable than you are, but they have right kind of mindset. That gives them power. That makes them exceptional. And we should soon see that the whole crisis-like situation is turned into an opportunity. And you are riding on that opportunity wave. And you are one of the few who are able to do it. And you will go from one level of success to another level of success and continuously do that. Because when things are happening the way you want them to happen, you have nothing to complain. But when they are not happening the way you want them to happen, you have to discover what is that better plan of the God. And you can write that and you can discover that plan, and you go, and I can assure you that plan is better than yours. So be thankful. It is often said that one door closes, 10 other opens, but we are so focused on the closing door that we don't see, we don't turn our head, we don't see the other doors which are open. Please see, turn your head, look for the opportunity. When you are expectant, when you are deliberately looking for the opportunities will become visible. Otherwise, they are not visible, they are invisible. They are invisible to most of the people. If you go and look at my talk, which I gave yesterday, day before yesterday, there's already 1,000 people has watched. Please go. I am predicting a great boom after the COVID impediment. The whole world, all the economists, all the financial experts, financial analysts, everybody is predicting a big doom. The biggest depression, bigger than the 1920s depression. And I'm predicting, I'm talking, there is a big boom is going to happen. I'm actually saying what 10,000 so qualified, like ex-governor of, RBI, Mr. Raghu Rajan, and the present chairman of IBA, International Monetary Fund, everybody is predicting doom. And I'm the one who's predicting boom. And out of 1,000 people who had seen, few hundred people have said, we agree 100% with what you're saying. Please go and watch. So when we are down with nothing, God is up to something. The faithful, the people who believe that something good is happening, will see that invisible thing which is invisible to most of us, and believe, like me, in incredible. Because people call me, it's incredible. How can you think such positively that there will be a boom when the whole world is predicting a doom? And then receive the impossible. Only when you believe something great is going to happen, something positive is going to happen, and you are taking action to make that positive expectation become a reality, that this impossible expectation will become a reality. But for that, you must have that mindset. You should not have the mindset of giving up, losing hope, getting panicky, and become negative. If you follow this, I think most of the time, or when the crisis strikes, you are the only one who will gain. And 99.9% people will lose because they are expecting to lose. They are expecting themselves to lose. You are not expecting. You will come out as a winner. That's all. If you have now any questions, please ask. I can answer those questions.
Students, do you have any questions? Please ask to sir. Sir, I think don't have any questions.
Okay. At least go and watch my video, which is uploaded on YouTube, which is talking about the biggest business opportunity, which is awaiting all of us after the corona pandemic. Please go and watch.
So where can we find it, sir?
I think you can just type or
Anyone could provide the link on WhatsApp group, then
okay.
it would be good, right?
I'll WhatsApp the link to.
Sent in this chat.
I'll WhatsApp the link to Meghamala. Meghamala, please WhatsApp this link to all the students. Okay. Reaction from the professors of Oxford and London School of Economics and Stanford and Harvard and people from
Yes, sir.
industry and everybody, the chairman of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, everybody has commented. So it's better that they see that. Yeah, I'll send the link to somebody.
Sir,
And
I
then,
I sent the link in this chat box.
sorry?
I sent the link. Already I sent the link in this chat box.
You have already sent the link.
Yes, in this chat.
Okay. Okay, so
Yeah, in the chat box, some student have shared the link
okay.
in the chat box.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes,
the
yes.
rest of the people who would like to see, because I want you to see it, see from the business perspective, you can see the situation, and everybody who has seen the talk, even the people from business, they have changed their mind. They were earlier thinking negative, but after listening to my talk, they have changed their views. So you must see this.
All right, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, then
Yes.
I had a great time talking to you. I hope you had also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.